Beltran, and you are watching Agenda via Signal TV channels 8 and 250 and the One News Facebook platform, and as well as YouTube. Okay, now One News PH Facebook, that's where you go if you want to view the program, and we would really appreciate if you could inform other people so that we get more participation nationwide. In any case, today is June 9, Tuesday, and we have some interesting people on interesting topics. Today we will be talking to Attorney Terry Ridon and Dr. Jean Nisperos of UPPGH, and Attorney Terry Ridon, if you recall, is a former congressman, and they're going to talk about the issue of backriders. A lot of you who have motorcycles and who watch the program, medyo mainit-init ang ulo ng iba sa inyo dahil ang gusto ninyo makaangkas si misis o makaangkas yung anak niyo papunta sa opisina o sa trabaho at hindi pa rin pinapayagan. And of course, there is a sector in our society who just questions the sanity of that policy. Now, to be fair, I understand where the government, particularly Secretary Ed Año, is coming from, because at the end of the day, they will get blamed for anything that causes the spike in cases of COVID-19. We'll also be joined by Attorney Kiko Pangilinan, Senator Kiko Pangilinan, and you have to excuse me this morning. I have to confess, it's a slow morning for me. Medyo still recovering from my cold, but in any case, Senator Kiko Pangilinan and I will be talking surely about agriculture, but not just on planting rice, etc., because that's getting really old. But let's talk to him about what the direction should be, not just for backyard, but for agriculture in the Philippines. And then, of course, we'll be talking about the anti-terror bill, the position of the opposition, etc. And later on, we will also be speaking with MMDA General Manager Jojo Garcia, because clearly there is now a growing push. There is a growing movement. There is a lot of pressure on the MMDA to put up those bike lanes, and we will get the MMDA's current status regarding the bike lanes. Now, we will also be speaking with our friends at the Department of Labor, hopefully regarding the 17% registered unemployed Philippines, 17% unemployment rate in the Philippines. Okay, but before that, let's go to the news. And here are the stories from the front page of the Philippine Star. Malacanang Palace says there is an even chance that the National Capital Region will be placed under the lenient modified GCQ or MGCQ by June 15. But, the big but, presidential spokesman Harry Roque says this will need further review and close examination, especially since the bulk of the COVID-19 infections are in Metro Manila. Of the 21,000 COVID-19 cases, more than half or 12,000 are from the National Capital Region. The case is different in other parts of the country where Roque said it's certain that there will be easing of quarantine protocols by 15th of June. Next up, a locally developed ventilator for adults is now set for clinical trial, says Science and Technology Secretary Fortunato Boy de la Peña. This ventilator, called AustriaVent, has just passed research development and prototyping and will most likely be tested at the Philippine General Hospital or PGH. It was developed by the Metals Industry Research and Development Center under DOST and its Advanced Mechatronics, Robotics, and Industrial Automation Laboratory. Last year, Secretary De La Peña called on medical scientists and researchers to help develop biomedical devices that are much needed in the country. A hike in tuition fee looms as colleges and universities continue to struggle in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic. CHED Commissioner Aldrin Darilag laid down the challenges faced by various tertiary schools before a Senate committee hearing. These include declining enrollments, the shifting to flexible learning, and the preparedness of both faculty and students for such, as well as, of course, revenue losses. Darilag says that all these factors combined may force the hand of schools to raise their tuition fees. As such, CHED Chairman Prospero de Vera appealed before the Senate committee that higher education institutions are in dire need of financial assistance so they can have the funds to implement the new system of instruction. Lastly, the National Privacy Commissioner Raymond Liboro said Facebook Philippines has now advised him that the company is now working on taking down the imposter accounts that has plagued the platform. Liboro said Facebook has tapped its offices in the United States and Ireland to do the job. However, Liboro urges Filipino citizens to avoid mass reporting. He says reporting a fake profile once is enough because multiple complaints only clogs the system. Okay, and that's most of the front page news of the Philippine Star. And just in case you're wondering what the front page looks like, well, there you go. Is it MGCQ or GCQ in Metro Manila? And here you have a photo of people entering a mall somewhere in Metro Manila, and that's interesting because apparently you get sprayed. So in any case, we will. Oh, by the way, there we go. PAL resumes flights to 8 domestic destinations, including Manila and Los Angeles. PLDT Smart tie-up with Grab for delivery of internet products. I'm just showing you all of this because I do have friends who are out in the provinces and they tell me, Cito, please naman, we know you guys are techie, but we haven't seen the newspaper. We're all stranded here in the province. They can't come back to Metro Manila. So they are asking me to once in a while flash the front page of the Philippine Star para maalala pa nila kung ano itsura ng favorite newspaper nila. Okay, so just taking notes here regarding that Facebook thing. And okay, we will now go to our first two guests. We have with us Attorney Terry Ridon of Infrawatch Philippines convenor and former congressman, and also Dr. Jean Nisperos, faculty of UP College of Manila. Okay, there, Doc Jean. Now, just to set things up, ladies and gentlemen, Doc Jean has been requested to appear on the program to explain his view or the view of his group regarding the policy of the IATF na walang backrider. Bawal ang backrider. Now, Doc Jean, kindly give us your view on that policy kasi I get the impression na kontra ka.
Yes, hi Cito, good morning. Kasi it goes against simple logic. Nakasama mo naman sa bahay, nakikita mo araw-araw, hindi mo pwedeng isakay, pero pagdating sa bahay, kasama mo pa rin siya. Right? I see, halimbawa kung if it were two people who were total strangers, for instance, hindi maintindihan mo na may konting logic doon dahil hindi sila magkakilala, hindi sila magkasama. The issue kasi ng backriding ay yung pag-violate ng physical at social distancing. So when you're talking about two people in a motorcycle, wala talagang space yan for physical distancing. Pero pagkasama mo naman sa, let's say your wife or your child, nakasama mo
Mhm.
naman sa bahay, you're assuming that they are already in the same milieu you're in. At kung safe kayo sa bahay, you can safely assume na pag sumakay kayo sa motorcycle mo o ng wife mo,
Mhm.
safe yun.
Mhm.
And then, even though they're coming, let's say, from work and they're coming home, nandun
Mhm.
pa rin eh. Because you can actually, the value of magkasama kayo sa bahay, nakikita mo talaga kung magkakaroon man ng symptoms. Kasi clinical pa rin naman yung pagtingin natin sa pagbabantay natin sa usapin halimbawa ng COVID-19. Right? So,
Mhm.
pag meron kang nakita, oy, nilagnat, inubo, madali mo maa-actionan yun. So, hindi ko ma-imagine yung logic behind yung pagbabawalan natin yung magkasama sa bahay na sumakay in a backride. At matindi rin yung reaction namin kasi kahit na health personnel yan mahirap yung mga health personnel. Minsan, yun lang ang means nila to go to work. Hahatid sila ng spouse
Mhm.
nila dun sa work. Tapos magba-backride. No? Tapos huhulihin kasi bawal daw yung backriding. It goes against logic. So, ang idea dyan is dapat tignan talaga yung konteksto no bakit nagba-backride. Kung magkasama naman sila sa bahay,
Yeah.
there's no reason to prevent that or to go
The,
against it. Yeah.
yeah, Doc Eugene, you're a member of the UP faculty at College of Medicine, correct?
Yes. Yes, sir.
What is your specialization? Wag na po sir. Doktor ka
Sino?
ako eh
Sige.
7 years to graduate UP ako. So wag mo ko
All right.
sir.
Nasanay kasi kami sa PGH, sa UP na sir ang kausap. Anyway, so I'm in the field of community medicine,
Okay,
which is
very
basically looking at communities rather than individuals. Yes,
okay.
Cito.
That's perfect. I because I really didn't get the chance to check your resume. But you're in community medicine now.
Right.
Itong let's look at it from the medical perspective, okay?
Okay.
Dalawang tao nakamotor,
Mm-hmm.
okay? Naka-helmet pareho,
Mm-hmm.
parehong naka-mask,
Mask. Correct.
tapos parehong naka-jacket kasi
Correct.
nga dahil rider ka. So and then you're moving and you are in
Correct.
the sunlight.
Correct.
Iba na ang usapan yung umuulan. Kahit
Correct.
walang COVID-19, may pulmonya pag umuulan. But under this current circumstance, I mean, what are the chances? Kasi all the things I have heard, read, and seen on the science of aerosolized COVID-19
Right.
is it is infectious in a contained
In setting.
environment.
Right. In a contained setting. Right.
Paki-explain nga kasi baka naman may nakikinig sa tiga IATF. And please, ladies and gentlemen, we are not against the IATF.
Right.
In fact, I feel so bad for Secretary Anyo because yung mga bata niya sinabi sa akin sir, sumusunod lang kami sa health
Mm-hmm.
protocol. Now Doc Jean, ikaw, doktor ka, kindly explain that nga. May anong problema dun?
I agree with you, Cito. No? Halos wala kang makitang dahilan. In fact, I will go back further na bago ka pa sumakay dun sa motor, bago mo pa suot yan, hindi ka naman lalabas kung may symptoms ka. The
Mhm.
idea that you are going out to do something, maybe to go to work or to do something necessary, ay bahagi yun. Gagawin mo lang kung ang assumption kasi doon, lalabas ako, malusog ako. Kasi kung may symptoms naman ako, or naka-quarantine ako, hindi ako lalabas. Kung may possibility na may contact ako, let's say with a COVID-19 patient, hindi rin talaga ako lalabas. So, presumption to begin with is, kaya siya sumakay at lumabas dahil wala siyang symptoms at walang dahilan para i-consider siya na asymptomatic carrier. No? So, isa yun. Tapos nakasuot pa siya ng, yun na nga, mask, yung the necessary precaution, suot naman niya. Ayun, wala talagang dahilan kasi unang-una hindi naman sila nagkikwentuhan, naka-ano nga yan, naka-helmet nga, no? So
Yeah.
yung air droplets hindi malalabas, naka-mask siya, saka naka-helmet. O may helmet naman kasi na hindi takip yung muka, pero naka-mask pa rin siya. So ang hirap ma-imagine paano sila magkakaroon ng paano kakalat yung virus through air droplets in a setting like that. No, kaya
Mm.
nga ang hirap isipin. Ganon din naman halimbawa yan yung paalis ng bahay, pauwi naman ng bahay, even before they go home, tatanggalin mo naman yung ginamit mo sa labas, magdi-disinfect ka pa rin bago pumasok ng bahay. So it just goes against medical yung pagtingin diyan sa biomedical concept na yung virus is being transferred by air droplets. Hindi talaga siya nangyayari sa ganong sitwasyon. Tapos sabi mo pa nga, ina-advise kasi namin talaga na mas maganda yung free-flowing air sa sasakyan. No? At sa motor, talagang free-flowing air yan kasi hindi naman enclosed space. So,
Yeah.
hindi talaga siya logical. Ang hirap isipin the logic behind it. Ngayon, at again, we're presuming that magkasama sila sa bahay. Ibang usapin kasi kung strangers sila, no, na hindi ka sigurado dun sa background ng backride mo kung may exposure.
From the very beginning that this policy came out or was mentioned, a lot of people were saying, teka, it defies common sense naman.
Right.
Itong
Right.
sa bahay, so social distancing kami, at saka it defies common sense na ayaw niyong pasakayin yung misis ko sa motorsiklo ko, pero pasasakayin niyo sa LRT, pasasakayin niyo sa truck ng AFP, etc.
Right.
But
Right.
my question is this: how come the medical practitioners, how come they did not stand up or speak out on this? Kasi parang kayo yung mga doktor, of course you, Doc Jean, you're speaking out now with Attorney Terry Ridon. Pero bakit parang right now hindi lumalabas ang mga doktor at nagsasalita on what are
On that.
blatantly erroneous science?
Well, I cannot speak on behalf of the other medical societies, but I presume kasi that even the Interagency Task Force and the National Task Force on COVID-19, may mga medical consultants sila. In fact, I think they have an infectious disease specialist on board sa kanilang teams. So I would presume that they can easily consult with somebody with a medical background, not necessarily on infectious diseases, pero at least ilan yung mga doktor nila on board as consultants regarding the policy that they're making. So ang presumption ko, dapat nabibigyan sila ng tamang advice. I cannot speak on behalf of the other medical groups why they haven't voiced out their opposition to such an impractical and an illogical policy. Pero ayun na nga lumalabas talaga na pinag-uusapan ba yan sa IATF, and are the policymakers in the IATF consulting with the medical consultants that they have on board? Because definitely they do. Both the National Task Force on COVID and the Interagency Task Force, meron silang mga consultants, and they could easily ask the logic behind that policy.
Yeah, at the end of the day, in your classroom, I suppose, I presume that in your classroom, if I were to stand up and give an opinion on a particular subject matter, you will probably, as the professor, tell me, Mr. Beltran, show me the science behind that. So this
Right.
is my classroom, and now I will ask you, what
Right.
is the science behind the position that you and Attorney Ridon have taken up?
Well, because definitely there is the possibility of transmitting the disease in the usual route that it's being transmitted by droplets is very minimal in a condition where the two riders in a motorcycle are on route, they're riding the vehicle, and plus the fact that they're coming from the same house, the same residence, and they're part of the same family. It just defeats all logic behind the manner by which the disease is transmitted. In the circumstance we're defining, the two passengers come from the same house. So if ever transmission is going to occur, it's going to occur even before they ride the motorcycle. And then after that vehicle ride, they can still go to the same residence, go to the same house, and monitor each other. So for me, the science is it defies the route of transmission that riding in a tandem, backride sa motorcycle, defies the possibility of transmission of COVID-19 in that particular setting. So ang hirap talaga siya. It's very difficult to explain why the policy, what's the science behind the policy. I don't see the science behind the policy. Especially given, again, inuulit-ulit ko lang kasi it becomes different when you're talking about strangers. We're talking about people who come from the same household. Sabi mo nga kanina, Cito, asawa, spouse, no, o kaya anak. Na they're coming from the same environment, the house, diba? If ever there's going to be a transmission, it's going to happen there, di ba? Kung saan sila magkasama, kung saan hindi sila protected. I mean, hindi ka naman nagmamas sa bahay mo kung kasama mo ang spouse mo at anak mo, and yet you're doing that outside. Now, ang hindi ko makita yung logic doon. Tapos sabi mo pa nga, they would much prefer that the one of the spouse or the child or the husband would go in a truck with a lot of other people, which mas mataas pa yung possibility of getting the disease in that setting rather than in a
well, actually that's what's happened already, particularly on the first, second days of GCQ, na kung saan yung AFP and even the DOTR, may at least to purihin din natin yung DOTR kasi nakita naman nila may problema, nagpadala na sila ng mga trucks, ng mga bus. Kanya lang ang problema, yung tao siyempre desperado na nag-akyata na lang, nagkumpulan na lang, etc. Now, ang tanong ko, go ahead.
Ang truck kasi wala naman yung provisions for physical distancing. Kahit anong gawin, di ba yung pinadala nilang truck, flatbed truck yan na sumakay yung mga tao. Palagay pa nga nating hindi siya dinumog ng tao. The truck itself has no provision for physical distancing. So that in itself violates the concept, di ba? So sorry, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
I was going to ask you kasi the focus is okay, bawal ang backrider, bawal lang ang cars kasi baka magkahawahan. Now, you've already explained the science. Now, compare that to what is being communicated to the public by the health experts. Ang sinasabi nila, X% of people out there are asymptomatic. People who don't know they have the disease, they are active, they carry the virus. So parang mas where you being the community physician or expert, which side gives you the greater risk, being in the general population or having your own ride? Because apparently yung mga dekotse okay, yung mga nakakasakay sa LRT, MRT and point-to-point buses okay, pero pagka ganyan na maramihan na, what are the chances that you will get more infected by asymptomatics?
Well, again, we're talking about a motorcycle backride, no? Napakaliit ng very minimal yung possibility transmission dahil nga nakamask ka na, naka-helmet ka pa, hindi naman kayo nagkikwentuhan habang nakasakay ka sa motor dahil ang hirap nga magsalita, nakamask ka na, naka-helmet ka pa. Tapos tumatakbo yung motor. So yung hangin naman ay tuloy-tuloy na dumadaan, ano? In fact, kung ikukumpara mo yan halimbawa sa isang enclosed space, yung sinasabi nilang modern jeepney na mukhang bus na may aircon, no? Mas mataas pa yung possibility of transmission doon kung kukumpara yon dahil enclosed yon, hindi naman bukas yung bintana at umiikot-ikot lang doon yung mga tao doon hindi naman naka-helmet, maaaring naka-mask sila, no? Kung magkakaroon man ng asymptomatic transmission, mas ganun yung mas malaki yung possibility doon. Plus remember ito, yung pinag-uusapan natin ay magkapamilya pa rin. So the asymptomatic carrier, the possibility na may asymptomatic carrier sa family ay remote kasi na monitor mo talaga yung sino yung contact nila. Nagkaroon ba sila ng contact sa isang COVID-19 patient, diba? Unlike in the general public, sumakay ka sa mass transportation. In fact, Sito, kung titignan natin, mas maganda pa yung lumang jeep Kasi yung lumang jeep, bukas yan mainit. So siyempre, hindi ka komportable. Pero pag tumakbo yung lumang jeep, ang laki, yung bintana niyan, malaking-malaki, di ba? So yung hangin dumadaan as compared mo, let's say, dun sa modern jeep na naka-aircon nga, komportable ka nga, pero umiikot-ikot lang dun yung hangin and the droplets are just there. Yun
I
kasi yung
guess at the end of the day, Dr. Jean Nisperos, the problem is not science or medicine. I think the problem is they just don't want to, or those who are going to have to check who have passes, who are married, etc. Yung baga iniiwasan na lang yung red tape, paperwork, and management of the problem. In any case, Doc Jean, thank you very much. I just hope that there will be more doctors and your sector will speak out more on these issues kasi mahirap naman yung, kasi pati nga medicine ngayon na politika na may mga for this side, for that side, and we just hope that the medicine field, the practitioners will speak more on the science and less on the politics. Thank you, Doc Jean, and please stay safe, stay strong, stay healthy, and God bless you.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Okay, that's Dr. Jean Nisperos. Unfortunately, we can't seem to connect with Attorney Terry Ridon, former Congressman Terry Ridon, who wants so much to speak about this problem, and we will probably invite him on another day. In the meantime, let's go to our long-awaited guest, Senator Kiko Pangilinan. He is there? Okay, there we go. And we're both wearing white and white shirt, white hair. Good morning, Mr. Senator.
Good morning, Cito, and to your viewers. Magandang umaga sa kanila lahat.
Okay, how are you doing? You are, I assume, also at home.
Unless I have to, yes, unless we have to do something necessary, stay home and do work at home.
Okay, and how has that been for you being at home with all those women?
Well, ever since naman, I'm always outvoted by the women in the family kasi mas marami talaga sila. So, nothing new.
Okay, so yeah, but I'm glad to know that you're. I assume that everyone is doing well. We haven't heard anything bad in the news, and you all seem to be doing fine. In any case, thank you for joining us this morning, Senator Pangilinan. And first up, I guess I'd like to request you for an update on what's really happened in the Senate, kasi medyo maraming color pero hindi namin masyadong nababalitaan dahil sa COVID-19. Una na yung nagkatampuhan yata or I don't know kung tampuhan ang correct term, but that scene between Senator Frank Drilon and Senator Bongo, medyo dramatic. You are not my mentor and I am not your student. Senate President Tito Soto always said that you're such a collegial body that everybody gets along. And then that, what's going on?
Well, I think yung usapin kasi doon is there was a refusal to be interpellated. And you know, in the Senate, that is rarely ever availed of. It is every senator can, in fact, there's no law, there's no rule in the Senate saying that you cannot refuse to be interpellated. So, but the tradition really is precisely because it's a deliberative body. When you make manifestations, when you deliver a privileged speech, to test your, the strength of your arguments, the validity of your assertions, dapat merong interpellation, dapat may clarification, may exchange, no? May tanungan at mga sagot. Yan ang talagang tradisyon ng isang deliberative body tulad ng Senado. Pero dito nga, ang nangyayari kasi may delivery of speech, of a privileged speech, and this is not once, no? This is probably 7 or 8 times already, or more. No? I don't know, but obviously, mas maraming beses na magde-deliver ng speech tapos refusing to be interpellated. So, tinanong lang ni Senator Drilon, ito ba norm na ngayon? Because this has always been, as a rule, no, this has been avoided. Because nga, debate, no, is healthy. Alam ko nga yung tawag nung my daughter Miel, I brought her to the Senate once when she was 4 or 5. Pag uwi sa bahay, nung gabi, may tanong siya, Daddy, when you were in the talking room, ganyan. Sabi ko, what? The talking room. Kasi nga naman, wala naman kaming ginawa doon kung hindi magsalita.
Okay.
So talagang, interpellation is precisely, part of the tradition. It is the way to test one's arguments and that he be subjected or she be subjected to questions from the floor. Pero in this case nga, paulit-ulit na may refusal. So I suppose protecting or upholding the Senate tradition and former Senate President at that, he decided to raise that issue and that it be placed on record.
Okay, now, is that out of fear because of the reputation of Frank Drilon? Or is it because these new senators have not been properly mentored or tutored as to the ways of the Senate?
Well, in fairness to Senator Go, this is not the first time that a neophyte senator had to go through some, how do you call it, awakening.
Intimidation?
No,
I remember...
I went through that myself. Diba?
You went through that, and
Yes,
Senator Lapid also went through that when he
Yeah.
was a new senator. Medyo pinagtripan siya.
Senator Vice President Noli also. So,
Yeah.
Hindi naman nasi-single out ang neophyte na tulad ni Senator Bongo sa nangyari. No? It's happened over time. This is my 3rd term in the Senate. So, makikita mo na talaga, Senator Lapid, Senator Noli De Castro, several others, myself. So, kasama yan sa pagiging senador na nagkakaroon ng ganitong, di ba, parang initiation or hindi naman initiation, but an awakening or a enlightening experience.
Okay, now,
Learning.
learning. Well, so how was it resolved? Everybody happy? Was there a compromise that let us not ruin the tradition of the Senate?
Wala na. We left it at that. Kasi bumalik na tayo doon sa trabaho. So, basta on record na yun. And then, hopefully, baka sakali, sa susunod, papayag ng magkaroon ng interpellation. But again, that's really up to him.
Yeah, but is that mere tradition or is that the business of the Senate? Because on a more serious note, Senator, kasi interpellation is not just, a healthy debate. It is a challenge to the proposals of the law that's being presented on the floor. Now, if a lawmaker insists and persists on not being subjected to argument or debate or questioning, then there is really no democratic assessment of the proposed bill on hand. And could this actually lead to an ethical or violation of the rules?
No, hindi naman. Kasi in fairness din to Senator Go, when he defends a bill, he answers questions. He does not refuse to answer questions. In fact, the session before that, the day before, he was defending local bills, and he agreed to and was answering all the questions raised. Also, nung budget debates when he was defending the budgets of the Philippine Sports Commission, he did not refuse to be interpellated. Dito lang sa pag-deliver ng privilege speech.
Okay, well, we're just clarifying that because it is a cause for concern kung may mga senador na kahit minsan hindi pwedeng ma-interpolate. Medyo hindi na yata nasa ayos yun. Now, speaking of disagreements, you and Senator Risa Ontiveros reportedly were the only ones who went against the anti-terror bill. Now, I was under the impression that it was unanimously passed by the Senate. Biglang lumabas ito na sabi niyo hindi kami kasali dyan. And there's been a number of Senate congressmen and congresswomen who have withdrawn their signature from that bill. Now, could you enlighten us to why you don't agree with the anti-terror bill?
Well, two points. First, there are really serious constitutional questions regarding a number of provisions, which we believe is contrary to the Constitution. The creation of the Anti-Terrorism Council and giving it powers of to arrest, suspected terrorists, I believe is a violation of the Bill of Rights, because the Bill of Rights under our current Constitution provides that only a judge can issue a warrant of arrest. So that's one. The concern about the ATC being able to arrest without warrants, dapat yan judikatura. So sabi nga nung ibang mga legal experts, it's a usurpation of judicial power. So that's questionable. The reason behind precisely why judges and not executive officials should issue warrants is precisely because of our experience no martial law. Na yung and your father, Louis Beltran, the late Louis Beltran, was arrested on the basis of an executive warrant of arrest. As I understand it.
He was arrested based on a warrant signed by one Ponce Enrile, who admitted it to me during an interview on my other show with ABS-CBN before.
Yes, and that warrant was issued by the Secretary of National Defense under a martial law regime. And precisely, nung pumasok na yung 1987 Constitution, isinantabi na yung 1973 Constitution, ipinagbawal yan, mahigpit na ipinagbawal na hindi huwes, hindi judikatura ang nag-i-issue ng warrant. So that's one.
Yeah, because just maybe just to enlighten our viewers, Senator Pangilinan, why that's an issue. Alam niyo po mga kaibigan, nung panahon ng martial law, may mga ilang taong nakulong dahil may atraso sila sa ilang cabinet members or kakilala or kaibigan ng mga nasa rehimeng Marcos. So I guess that's the whole point of that constitutional change, because there should be an independence in terms of those arrests.
And a legal determination. Dapat may basehan. Hindi pwedeng yun na nga dahil kaibigan o kamag-anak o kaya may that's why a judge under the 1987 Constitution has to personally examine the witnesses and must determine or must decide that on the basis of him believing, the judge believing that the crime has been committed and that the one to be arrested is the one who committed it. Ganun ka-specific. No? Pero nawala yon sa ATC. Pwede na yung ATC, siya ang mag-determine ng probable cause. The other is the 14. Yes.
You know, ironic that you pointed that out, because when I asked, and I hope the good senator will remember what he told me during that interview, I told him, Manong Johnny, ba't mo pinakulong yung tatay ko? After he admitted na siya yung nagpakakulong. Kasi the suspicions back then was probably Imelda, could be some other cabinet members. And he said, hindi, ako nagpakulong, ako pumirma ng arrest warrant ng papa mo. Bakit? Kasi ang kulit niya And you know, that it was because he was a journalist and he was always writing exposés. But the term that the Manong Johnny used was ang kulit niya. And I think we don't want a repeat of that. Sorry, I needed to include that in the discussion as emphasis on your point.
Yes. So that one is one legal constitutional question. Why is there a usurpation of judicial authority? The other is the 14-day detention without warrant. Currently, the Constitution says you can be held without an arrest warrant, without charges, for 3 days. After the third day or 72 hours, if there are no charges, you are to be released. And this is in a period of martial law and for the crime of rebellion. No? And therefore, very stringent. Dun sa mataas na, sabihin na natin, serious offense, hanggang 72 hours lang. And this is the Constitution. And now you have a law that says, hindi na 3 days, 72 hours without charges. Pwede ng 14 days without charges. Tapos pwede pang i-extend ng 10 days. You know, if you are a accused, walang charges, 24 days, ay, di ba? Medyo yung karapatan mo at yung seguridad mo at yung kapakanan mo and the Bill of Rights, therefore, precisely is violated by this particular provision.
Senator, I'm really getting confused with this because depende sa kausap mo, iba-iba ang sagot. When I interviewed Congressman Jericho Nograles, I hope I got his name correct. He said that the reason that they needed to push for this anti-terrorism bill, more than anything, he didn't even cite terror or terrorism. He said that the financial institutions were pressuring the Philippines because tayo lang daw yung iilan na walang batas that secures or protects against terrorist funding, transfer of funds, etc. Now, when you listen to another Congress or to Senator Ping Lacson, your associate, your colleague in the Senate, sinasabi niya, okay, mamroblema kasi kailangan mag-report ang pulis sa husgado, etc. Now, which is which? Are we doing this on terrorism or are we doing this because the IMF, World Bank, etc. are saying, oy, mahirap kayo bigyan ng pera, magulo yung sistema nyo?
Well, I think it's a combination of both. You know, the terrorist money, di ba, going in and out of, di ba, of our banking system is precisely a major concern. No? Ginagamit yung ating sistema ng finance, yung banking system para makapag-ano ng kanilang terrorist activities to fund their activity. Yeah. So talagang that is a serious concern. After all, itong money laundering, di ba, is really a criminal anti-crime, di ba, policy kasi money laundering is criminal activity.
But
so kasama
was there or is there an existing pressure that resulted in the fast tracking of this bill? I know this bill has been there for 4 years. Medyo tumagal ng araw yan. Pero parang suddenly during the time of COVID, dun pa pinaspasan.
Well, yeah, the timing, I'd like to think, is also, di ba, parang the worst possible time to do this. But then again, so is the closure of ABS-CBN, di ba? and instead of focusing all our energy, our time to addressing the pandemic, the health crisis, and the economic crisis, ito ang binibigyan ng oras at panahon. So talagang nakakalungkot yun. But the other point of why I am objecting to it is precisely the second point, that it will be, potentially, it is open to abuse. And that's why the fear, you know, sabi nga nila, only terrorists should be afraid of this law, and if you are opposing it, therefore you are a terrorist, hindi pa nga nagiging batas, binansagan na kaming terrorista. You know, in Hong Kong today, the Hong Kong government has described the pro-democracy marchers as terrorists. The leaders are terrorists. You know, so yan ang concern, no? Na hindi ito concern na nanggagaling sa parang sa coming out of thin air.
Mhm.
And yeah, you're now showing what happened to UP Cebu because of a protest activity, hindi ba? Nilusob ng PNP itong mga kabataan, yung mga student leaders at kinulong. Tapos ang sinabi, and in violation of an accord between the DND, the DND Defense Establishment and the University of the Philippines.
Uh-huh.
Because I think your father, or if not, was it Dean Malay, who was the Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs when the Soto DND Accord was signed.
Mhm. Yeah, well, that is that the state university grounds is off limits unless the law enforcers are invited or asked to come into the
That's right.
grounds of the university.
That's right.
So, ngayon,
So,
may
so the fear that it can be abused is real. And when you have police officers who take advantage of breaking the law or who break the law, who are above the law, who are not punished, di ba? Violating the laws on quarantine dahil nagmanyanita pero wala namang parusa. Pag kinukonsinti mo yung hindi tamang palakad ng kapulisan, ano mangyayari sa atin sa enforcement nitong batas na ito? Yun ang isang concern, major concern. Sabi nga nila, yung mga napatay ng mga suspected pa lang, wala pang ang kaso, suspected ng mga drug addict, nanlaban. Alam naman natin magaling sa planting of evidence, magaling sa frame up. Ito ang nangyari kay Captain Ragos na sinabi ng NBI, yung baril planted.
Yeah.
Kung ganyan ang sistema ng kapulisan, hindi natin nilalahat. I know marami sa ating kapulisan ay dedicated, pero kung ganyan ang maraming mga insidente na nangyayaring pang-aabuso, how do you expect a anti-terrorism law to be professionally enforced?
Okay, now,
A fear.
how do you resolve this? Because I'd like to touch on that thing about police procedures and arrest. But before we go there, I want to find out, how do you resolve this? Because some people said unless someone is arrested based on that law, you can't take it to the Supreme Court. Justice, former Chief Justice, hindi siya former Chief Justice, Justice, wala na, Senior Seat. Carpio, sorry. My apologies to Justice Carpio. It's me, it's not you. Okay. In any case, Justice Carpio said, well, you can take it to the Supreme Court. And then we have Congressman Fortun, I think of Agusan, if I'm not mistaken. Agusan del Norte, yeah. He's saying na pa-recall na lang yung bill na yan. What are the remedies available regarding this? Because I agree, we need an anti-terror bill. I agree, we need safeguards on the fund transfers. But I also agree that there are violations of the Constitution and judicial power. So, as you pointed out, what are the remedies?
Well, I think in terms of congressional legislative remedies, sa Senate wala na, no? We have our rules that if you can only move to reconsider a ruling, a vote in the Senate 2 session days after it has been done, after the vote is taken, and that was February. So wala na sa rules namin yan. Although, strictly speaking, we have recalled an enrolled bill. In fact, recently, itong Coco Levy. Yeah, remedyo din yan. But I doubt if that will happen. First, we're on recess.
Okay.
We're in Senate adjournment and we don't resume sessions until the 27th of July. So, mukhang hindi na rin yan available. Sa House, the same. No? They're also on sine die adjournment. And they also have a similar rule that you can only seek for a reconsideration of a vote within 2 session days. Now, between now and but mukhang hindi na rin posible yon. Yung mga, the way I understood it, is pinaliwanag sa amin ng ilang mga kongresista dahil nagtatanong tayo, yung change of vote is really more clarificatory. Hindi talaga pinapalitan yung boto kung hindi nagkamali dun sa pag-record ng boto. Iba yun, ha? Iba yung binago yung boto, iba yung nagkamali sa pag-record ng boto. Iba rin yung winidraw yung kanyang co-authorship dahil hindi naman daw niya kino-author yung bill. Iba rin yung hindi siya bumoto ng yes, ng no. Iba yun. Mukhang ang lumalabas dito, mali daw na ginawa silang co-author, kaya pinabago yon. At mali daw yung pagkarinig dahil daw sa online voting, ibang klase ang botohan, hindi maliwanag, mali ang record. Pero yung binago from yes to no, parang hindi ata yun ang nangyayari ngayon. So wala na rin sa legislative.
Okay,
So,
but what about the position of Rufy Biazon? And I think one other congresswoman, sinabi nila, teka, yung pinirmahan ko sa Congress, sa House, hindi yan yung nilabas ng Senate at pumunta sa Malacanang. So therefore, dapat tanggalin niyo yung pirma ko dyan because that is not what I wrote or what I signed on. Kumbaga
That's
sa kontrata, nag-switching ng contract parang Saudi.
ang nangyari kasi, they adopted the Senate version. Di ba? In toto. Hindi na nila tinalakay yung version nila na pinirmahan. This is my understanding. Hindi ko naman nakausap si Congressman Rufy, but ang pagkaunawa ko, he authored the measure in the House. But the measure that finally was adopted in full, di ba, without considering the House version, was the Senate version. So technically, tama si Rufy na kung Senate version yung in-adopt ninyo, hindi ako author niyan. Kaya, kaya hindi nyo masasabing ako ang co-author ng measure na yan. I mean, that's a technical, di ba? Technically, may point siya ron. No? Dahil his version was not accommodated, not even, talagang in toto, kabuuan in-adopt yung Senate version. But, ang sa akin, I think, and therefore, remedy, I believe, at this point, you have the Supreme Court, di ba, as your remedy. And I share the view of Justice Carpio na on its face pwede mo nang dalhin sa pagka naging batas yan dahil merong issue on free speech, di ba? Yung inciting to terrorism. In other words, because of your writings, because of speeches, you can actually be held, you can be accused of and convicted of inciting to terrorism because of your speeches, because of your writing. So yan, free speech na ang involved dyan. Nung dati kasi, dinala sa Supreme Court questioning yung 2007 Human Security Act. Si Harry Roque pa nga ang nag-file ng kaso. But it was dismissed. Sabi ng Supreme Court, walang standing. Ibig sabihin, hindi ka party in interest. Di ba? Wala namang kaso, etc. Kasi wala pa yung free speech provision. Wala pa yung inciting to terrorism provision nung lumang batas. But in this case, naririyan yan. Therefore, on its face, maaaring talakayin ng Korte Suprema. So I think that, apart from the free speech issue, of course, is pwede na ding talakayin yung issue of judicial usurpation of power.
Are you planning, may balak ka ba na isa sa mangungunang pumunta sa Supreme Court?
It is an option. Actually, pinag-usapan namin ni Senator Risa yan and some members of the legal community, legal academic community, mga deans, mga teachers, professors. So we're exploring, exhausting all legal remedies to oppose what we believe to be, diba? A questionable constitutional, law. So may mga And for the purpose also of discussing it, kasi tinanong sa akin kahapon, kahit kung dalhin sa Supreme Court, what the Supreme Court can actually do, if it agrees with our arguments, is strike down as unconstitutional not the entire law, but specific provisions of the law. While the other provisions of the law that are not in contravention of the Constitution will still be law and will still be enforceable.
Judging from what I've heard and what you've said yourself, there are only a few features of the law that you are opposed. I think you are opposed to the 14 plus 10 detention. What else are you opposed to? The Anti-Terrorism Council having the judicial authority to issue warrants and have people arrested. Those seem to be the two main
Yung ano
conflict.
rin, well, very fundamental, the definition of terrorism. Diba? Dati kasi sa 2007 version ng Human Security Act, maliwanag kung ano yung mga crimes. Kasi in-identify bawat crime, whether it's a special law, special criminal law, or the revised penal code. Yun, pag kinumit mo yun, di ba, in the context of creating havoc and serious, di ba, damage, yun, terrorism. So maliwanag. Yung current definition, we are saying, is vague. No? Maraming mga open to different interpretations. And under criminal law, it is a basic tenet in criminal law that a crime has to be defined. It cannot be vague, di ba? Because kung vague yan, how can you be, the right to be informed of the nature of the cause against you? Hindi mo, what are you being charged with? Ang labo ng batas, ang gulo-gulo, di ba? So that also is a major constitutional question. And yung proscription. Yung within a period of 72 hours, if a court can declare a terrorist organization as such, and therefore, in other words, pagka halimbawa ang isang student organization ay nagkaroon ng terorista yan o konektado sa mga yan, o 72 hours, may preliminary proscription. Within a period of 6 months, you are preliminarily tagged as a terrorist organization, and therefore, non-bailable, etc. And then until after 6 months, kailangan mag-decide yung court kung ikaw ba talaga a terrorist organization o hindi. In the meantime, what happens to you and your members? So yan, dati kasi iba, no, very specific. You will have a full-blown trial before a organization can be tagged as terrorist. Ngayon, mabilis na. So that again is open to abuse.
Okay, now you've made those 4 or 5 points there. Now there is such a thing as the executive legislative liaison office, officer, etc. There are sessions between Senate and Malacanang. What are the chances? Because apparently Secretary Minardo Guevara, DOJ, has said that they are going to review this, and that the president, through Harry Roque, I think, I'm not very sure about that, but I think he referred to it one time and said that the president is taking the proposed law under advisement. He's going to review it. What are the chances that the senators and the president can meet up and come into a compromise? Because I would like to believe, and I do think President Duterte is responsive in many ways and might consider, sige, para everybody happy, alisin na lang natin yung kinaiinisan ninyo. What do you think about that?
Well, I don't think that it's an issue in the Senate. Kasi nga, dalawa lang kaming tumutol. So hindi issue sa Senate at sa administration ni President Duterte. At yung version ng Senate ang pinasa eh.
Okay, but what about the two senators in Congress? Are you hopeful that the president might actually make the correction? Or can he? Is he allowed? Is he allowed by law to make a correction on such a bill?
I mean, why will he say it has to be corrected when the Senate, by a majority vote, is in
No,
favor?
but yeah,
Diba?
but remember,
So,
Senator Pangilinan.
the political reality is the
Oh.
Senate, the majority in the Senate support it. So why will he listen to us? In other
Yeah,
words,
but here's my point.
my point is, I think the legislative process, as far as kaming mga oppositors sa Senate is
Oh.
concerned, is not we already exhausted that. That is my point. And therefore, I think it should now be brought to the judiciary, raise the matter before the Supreme Court. That is probably the more appropriate approach moving forward.
Yeah, because I guess medyo naalala ko lang yung budget bill na pinropose noon na very controversial na sinabi ni Senate President Soto maghihiwalay ang dikolor sa puti, hindi kami papayag. And the President said, if it's illegal, I'm not going to sign it. So hope springs eternal. But the question is the President allowed by law to make corrections or alterations in that Senate bill?
No, the Constitution says you either veto it, don't sign it, and it becomes law in 30 days, or sign it. Those are the only three options available to the President. He cannot make amendments to the law.
Okay, so magkikita tayo sa Supreme Court, in other words. In any case, Senator Pangilinan, I will have to ask you for a return bout because medyo naubos ang oras natin dito sa detalye ng anti-terror bill. But next time, I seriously would like to discuss with you what is the future for agriculture, because everybody has been talking about agriculture. Let's put money into agriculture, pero wala kaming nakikita na didinig na actual plan that everybody agrees on. In any case, please give us that opportunity in a couple of days, if you don't mind.
Yes, of course. And that is actually my first love. I mean, public policy-wise, my first love, of course, and my only love is Sharon. But my first love in public service is agriculture, and we should be able to do that. Yes.
Okay. Hopefully tomorrow or the next day we'll be calling on you, Senator. And please stay safe, stay strong, stay healthy, and God bless you and your family.
Amen. Thank you, Cito, and to all your viewers. Magandang umaga sa kanila lahat. Maghugas ng kamay, manatiling malusog, wag magpuyat. Stay healthy and stay safe. Thank you.
Okay, that's Senator Francis Kiko Pangilinan, Senator of the Republic of the Philippines, and unfortunately, I have a number of guests lined up, so we will have to discuss agriculture with him in the coming days, and I'm requesting the team, please schedule nyo na, book nyo na bago mabisi yung mama. In any case, let's go for a quick gap, and when we come back, let's talk bicycles with MMDA General Manager Jojo Garcia and what their plans are. Napag-usapan na natin motor, bisikleta naman. Mamaya here on Agenda. Okay, you're back here on Agenda, and you are watching us via Signal TV channels 8 and 250 for high definition, and of course the One News PH Facebook platform. Now let's go to our next guest, General Manager Jojo Garcia of the Metropolitan Development Authority. Good morning, GM Jojo.
Hi, good morning, Sir Cito. Good morning to all your listeners and viewers.
Okay, let's take off right away regarding the topic of bikes. Kasi kanina napag-usapan na namin yung tungkol sa mga motorsiklo, yung backrider, and we had the doctor on the program. But now we'd like to find out, because there is clearly a push for bicycle lanes to be established, if not on the major routes, all over Metro Manila. What has been discussed on this subject matter? Ano ba napapag-usapan tungkol din sa mga bike lanes na yan?
Okay, first, we just want to tell everyone MMDA supports the bike lanes. At right now, all our LGUs, almost all the LGUs have bike lanes already. Marikina, Pasig, Quezon City, Makati, etc. But the problem is, hindi siya connected with each other. Sa localized lang. So one of our plan is to connect all bike lanes, yung may connection siya sa mga national road. So right now, this moment, we're planning it out sa lalo-lalo na sa EDSA. Ang DOTR katulong natin dito. Dahil they're the ones going to fund sa bicycle lane. We submitted the proposal, we submitted the engineering, and then hopefully po matapos namin to at makapag-download na rin ng funds para masimulan namin ang paggawa. Yung mga bike lanes right now, Sir Cito, we should remember, hindi naman pwedeng ilagay natin kahit saan yan. Meaning kahit saan. Just this morning, may report sa akin, may accidenting bike na naman sa major thoroughfares. So we really need to follow yung kumbaga international standard ng safety. We need to think na hindi pwedeng madalian to dahil may urgency, lagyan lang natin ng barrier o ng bote ang kalsada, isa-separate na natin ang bike with the private cars. Alam naman natin yung gaano kadami ang walang ang pasaway, walang disiplina sa mga motorista. So we don't want to waste the plan na meaning ito na yung plano natin right now pag madaming na aksidente dyan, alam mo naman na mako-compromise, That's why ang number one talaga sa atin yung safety ng mga bikers natin. Just what happened, I think that was last week, yung meron tayong pinaalis dyan na, hindi man pinaalis, na pinagsabihan. Wala namang kaso, hindi natin kinasuhan yan because talagang naiintindihan natin yung need. Wala tayong public transportation and then we're promoting bikes. The problem is, nasa national road ka, like Commonwealth, without anything, walang pasabi, walang sulat. Paggulat na lang kami, pagising mo sa umaga, nilagyan nila ng mga cones, nilagyan ng plastic bottles, ginawa nilang bike lane. So yan, talagang napakadelikado niyan. Meaning, ano ba naman yung sumulat kayo sa amin, magpaalam kayo, so that we can put enforcers, we can put ambulance, if ever, para ma-separate talaga natin yan. That's why I think...
But how, GM, pasensya ka na, alam mo naman 100% suporta ako sa inyo, pero paminsan-minsan kailangan ko rin mag-raise ng issue. Now, regarding that controversy or naging incident dyan sa may Commonwealth, mayroong biking group na nag-linya, nagtalagay ng mga bote para lang barrier. Now, okay, mali sila because they didn't ask you, hindi sila nagpaalam, hindi sumulat. But how did you resolve that issue? Or at the moment, status quo, no bike lane, no nothing, walang nangyari?
Actually, they wrote us already. Ang nagsabi sa akin yung assistant secretary natin sa operations, si General Almadin, sumulat, pinayagan naman, then we will assist them.
Okay.
Kung paano. We'll put enforcers, lagyan natin ng ambulansya. And actually, already talked to Mayor Joy Belmonte, Nag-submit na rin ako sa kanya yesterday ng plan because they're planning to put up a bike lane. Pero hindi nga naman pwede na basta yung kalsada, na alam naman natin, codes lang yan. Alam yung mga private vehicles, nako, Diyos ko, alam na natin yan. Kanina kami na aksidente, sasagasaan nila yan. So we need to put safety. Ngayon, sa EDSA, ano ba plano natin dyan? Number one, nakita na natin yung bus nasa left side na. So okay na tayo
Okay.
dyan. Tinulungan natin ang commuters dahil mas mabilis sila, mas madami sila, kailangan mas mabilis ang biyahe nila. So okay
Okay.
na tayo dyan. Ano? Yung ang nanalo rin dito, yung mga private vehicles, no, na nasa right side na. Why? Kasi nga, wala nang obstruction ng bus, nahihinto kahit saan. No? So kahit gaano kadami ang volume nila, continuous ang flow nila. Kahit mabagal, kasi madami talaga yung volume, pero wala nang obstruction.
Makasingit lang ako, GM. Ibig sabihin niyan, wala ng yellow lane.
Wala na, pwede na pang private dyan.
Okay.
Meaning,
Pwede ba ninyong ipakiusap sa DPWH na burahin lahat yung mga yellow lane na yon? Kasi here's the point. There is a psychological
yes.
reminder of those yellow lanes, and pati yata si Asec, pangalan nito, one of your associates, nag-mention nga, pwede naman sila sa yellow lane. Ewan ko kung ba't ayaw nila sa yellow lane. Sabi
of
ko,
course, nasanay na matagal na bawal.
exactly. Oh.
Yeah, it's part of the plan. It's part of the plan. Kaya nga ito yung sinasabi ko, no? Nasa
Okay.
right side na, 3 lane, hanggang 4 yan, ang private. So dire-diretso yan, ano? That's why sabi nga namin, nagkakaroon ng choke points, underpass, overpass, kasi 2 lanes na lang yan, engineering problem. From 4 lanes, magiging 2. That's why, sabi nga namin, pumunta kayo sa right side, kahit may stoplight dyan sa mga overpass dyan, dire-diretso yan, kasi maluwag yan. So ngayon, paano natin ilalagay yung bike lane? So what we're planning is, pinasukat na namin yung mga lanes. May mga 3.5 meters, may 3.2, may 4 meters. No? So what we're going to do is, gawin natin 2.8 meters yung private. 2.8 meters. Ito yung nasa international safety, na pag ang takbo mo 50 kilometers, 60 kilometers per hour, safe yung lane. Kasi mabagal lang naman yan. So pag naging 2.8 to, no, yung mga lanes natin, may makukuha tayong mga 1.5 meters na sosobra. Kasi i-narrow natin yung lanes. No? That 1.5 meters, idadagtong natin sa bangketa. I-upgrade din natin ng 6 inches, yan ang magiging bike lane natin, katabi ng pedestrian. So may mga bollards yan, no? May mga signages yan. Alam naman natin, may plano tayo na yung the whole EDSA stretch, yung pedestrian yan, lalagyan natin ng fence yan. So nakakulong, kumbaga, may safety, hindi basta-basta makakaakyat ang mga sasakyan. So right now, we're planning it out. Hinihintay ko na lang na pag nag-download na sa amin ng DOTR ng funds, start na natin yan. Pero yung drawing, lahat, technical aspect, nandiyan na.
Matanong ko lang, GM, because ayoko naman masisi na naman kayo na naman ng mabanatan, ang bagal-bagal nyo. How long does it normally take for those funds to be downloaded? Kasi alam ko, naka-recess ang Kongreso. Hindi yata nakasama itong bike lanes na ito sa original 2020 budget of the MMDA.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's fast, no? Sabi ko nga, yung ginagawa namin mga loading and loading base, no? Dahil ang bus nasa left side ng EDSA. Na-download na kagad in 1 week ng DOTR kasi yung pondo niya galing sa DOTR. So, some documentations lang, ina-download ulit nila sa amin yan. Kami na lang, ang katulong natin dito is DPWH, ano? Kaya nga nagtataka ko minsan pagka sinasabihan kami na ba't hindi ginawa dati yan nung walang tao, di ba? Yung lalo na yung mga stops natin, loading and loading base. We should remember before, naka-ECQ tayo eh. Once na ECQ, hindi ka pwede magtrabaho. Even our workers, no, tao rin yan, pwede mahawa ng COVID yan eh. Kaya nag-start lang kami during the MECQ later part, no? Kasi nga inallowed na magkaroon ng construction. That's why we're pushing it, no, over time. Hopefully by June 22, makakuha na tayo kahit 5 to 7 muna na stations. It's all interim, ha? Huwag natin sasabihin, ba't ganyan ang itsura niyan? Pinag-abang-abang lang natin yan eh, mga loading and loading base. Kasi hindi talaga pwede patawarin ang tao sa kalsada. So we need to use some infrastructure, no, of MRT and LRT and some footbridges para yung bus nasa gitna. Remember, nasa right side ang pinto niyan eh. Di ba?
Alam mo, natatawa ako, GM eh, kasi biglang na-realize ko, maraming papayat sa Metro Manila. Matututong maglakad, magbisikleta, at umakyat at bumaba ng mga bridges because of the new normal.
Sumulat sa akin yung PWD sectors, no? Paano natin our seniors, no? Sabi ko nga, nung sumulat sila, sumusulat pa lang kayo, nasa plano na natin yan. Kasi inikot na namin ng DPWH. Kung gagawin natin dito, Sir Cito, yung lifters, no? Yung safe siya, may bakod siya, lifter lang, umaakat, pababayan, sa mga footbridge. Kasi if we're going to put elevator, masyado matagal yan at mahal, no? Sabi ko,
Oo.
it's all interim. Interim pa lang to, no?
At saka mura
lalagyan-
yung lifter. Mura
Yes.
yun. Oo.
At safe naman siya, no? At ilan lang yan. Mababa lang yan, hindi ganun kataas yan. But also, we'll put safety measures, no? Yan, inaayos na rin namin yan, no? Hindi ho natin nakakalimutan yung PWD at seniors. Another thing, baka magtaka na naman sila, no? DOTR just wrote me a letter kasi nga nabago natin yung routes ng mga bus, no? Naging 21 na lang yan from 80 plus. So, kailangan natin ng mga bus stops, loading and loading bays, pati sa mga jeepneys, no? So, nagtutulungan kami, pati ang local government units, kasi we need to put strategically yung mga bus stops and jeepney stops, no? So, baka magtaka na naman sila, sasabihin, lalagyan namin ng mga tarpaulin yan, parang marker lang na soon will rise, no? Yung loading and loading bays. Alam mo naman yung mga netizens natin, kukuha ng picture yan. Ano ba naman kasi bus stop yan? Tarpaulin lang. Hindi po, no? Markers lang to para masanay na ang tao. Kasi we need to educate people to fall in line. No, remember, until now, COVID still there. No, it's just invisible, but still there. No, kaya nga kung makwento ko lang, no, in few minutes, na ano pa ako dyan, may quote pa ako dyan na headline pa nga tayo na sinisisi ko raw ang commuters dahil sa chaos na, Diyos ko, ba't naman natin sisisihin? No? Actually, may mga network na binago, naintindihan nila kasi iba yung substance sa headline Minsan may malisyoso yan iba yung headline pero pag binasa mo, iba yung sinabi, no? I just wanted to clear, no, with everyone. Hindi po ako naninisi. Ang sinabi ko lang, yung mga kababayan natin na out of focus, no? Meaning, ano po ba ang goal, no, a priority ng gobyerno? Ang priority natin is first, no, safety and health. Second na lang yung how to transport people from point A to point B. Ang iba nating mga kababayan, of course, naintindihan natin, gusto lumabas, kailangan magtrabaho, nagugutom na. Kaya lang, ang paglabas nila ng bahay, ang naging focus nila, how to transport from point A to point B Nalimutan yung health issues. No? So, lagi kong pinapaalala, unahin natin yung health at safety. Kasi yan ang priority natin. Nagbukas lang tayo, hindi ibig sabihin na wala ang COVID So, hindi pa ninisi yun Kasi nga, kaya ako nasabi yon nung first day ng MECQ, which yung topic nyo kanina na monitor ko, naglibre sakay. Ano nangyari? Dinumog ng tao. Na wala ang physical distancing. So sabi ko, kasi nga, nalimutan natin. Pero kung hindi natin nalilimutan yan, pipila tayo, mag-aabang tayo, wala tayo sa kalsada para makipagpatintero. Ito yung binabago natin. That's why
Parang after 60 days kang nagtiis sa quarantine, biglang nakipagsapalaran ka para lang makapasok ng opisina.
So yun yung paalala ko, Sir Cito. Hindi tayo kailangan mawala sa focus. COVID is still there, di ba?
Okay. We'll have to leave it at that, GM, kasi medyo meron pa tayong isang nakalinya. But kahit po linggo-linggo, you are welcome to come to the program or show up on the program because I know what you're feeling. We need to inform the public. We need to remind public, yung mga, lalo na yung mga pop-ups na yan. And we will be there for you. We will help the MMDAs. Thank you very much, sir.
So, thank you very much, Sir Cito. Stay safe. God bless. Thank you po.
Okay, that's MMDA GM Jojo Garcia. Maganda naman po. Nagkaayos yung mga bike groups. They will start putting up those elevated bike lanes now. Let's go to our last and final guest. We have Assistant Secretary Nikki Tutay of the Department of Labor and Employment, Bureau of Local Employment. Asec, Nikki, good morning to you.
Good morning, Sir Cito, at sa lahat po ng inyong followers.
Okay, sorry medyo magmamadali tayo, but there's been parang a confusion regarding this number of unemployed Filipinos. Maski na nga si BSP Governor Ben Jokno said, hindi accurate yan kasi GCQ lang yan, mag-i-improve yan. What is the true state of unemployment and what is the DOLE going to do about it?
Okay, based po doon sa April 2020 round ng Labor Force Survey of the PSA, our unemployment rate stood at 7.7% and it translates to about 7.3 million Prior to that, nung January 2020 labor force survey po, we are at 5.3% or equivalent to 2.4 million unemployed persons. So talaga pong malaki rin po yung dagok sa atin nung COVID pandemic, lalong-lalo na po nung ECQ. If you recall, ang DOLE po ay nagbo-monitor po ng mga establishments who are under flexible work arrangement or temporary closure. And per our administrative data, we have more than 100,000 businesses who were forced to temporarily close or do some flexible work arrangements program. And it involves about 2.8 million workers. But having said that, it's not the entire picture because not all of the establishments who are affected may have submitted their reports to the Department of Labor and Employment. Also, it only covers the formal sector workers. Hindi pa po kasama yung informal sector. So the PSA labor force survey gives us the entire picture of unemployment situation in the country.
Okay.
Tama naman po si Sir Jock when he said that it's because of the lockdown kaya po talagang nawala temporarily yung trabaho po ng ating mga kababayan.
Now, what is the DOLE going to do about it? Kasi alam mo, Nikki, nung nakausap ko, Asec Nikki, nung nakausap ko si Senator Ralph Recto, he's worried. Sabi niya, Cito, unless we are able to come up with all the stimulus package, all the relief programs, we might end up with 10 million unemployed by December of this year. What is the DOLE doing for its part?
Okay, we have already submitted our employment recovery plan to the Office of the President, and it's even submitted to Congress. And part of it has been in the provisions of the bills on stimulus package. Unfortunately nga po, when the session ended last week, hindi po na i-certify as urgent yung Bayanihan 2 Act na iprinopose po ng Senate po natin or ng Congress po natin. What we really need is to put forward as fast as we can yung pong plano ng whole of government and whole of society and put budget in it. Kasi Sir Cito, hindi naman po makakagalaw ang ahensya ng pamahalaan kung wala rin pong budget na ibibigay sa amin.
Okay, so ano ang mga priorities? Kasi alam mo, Asec Nikki, kausap ko yung isang kaibigan ko, ka-church ko, and sabi niya, alam mo kuyang, pahirapan mag-apply, magpalista at makalusot doon sa ginagawa ng DOLE, yung doon sa salary insurance something ninyo. Pero sabi niya, kuyang, nakakuha kami, nabigyan kami ng first tranche and it really helped so many. I think he has about 80 employees. And sabi niya, ang laking tulong. And you know, I'm really glad to hear stories like that. Kasi ang problema ko, naka-quarantine din ako. hindi ko no? Wala tayong confirmation. But that's a confirmation that one of the DOLE programs is actually working and helping people. Ano ba ang, quickly lang, ano ba ang mga priority programs ninyo ngayon sa office mo for local employment, Bureau of Local Employment?
Okay, siguro sir, ito good news lang, yung pong joint memorandum circular for the Bayanihan 2 or yung sa Social Amelioration Program Part 2 po natin, ngayong araw na ito po ay malalagdaan na po ng mga iba't ibang ahensya ng pamahalaan para po yung second tranche ay maibigay na. And part of that nga po, yung sinasabi yung nagbigay sa inyo ng information, doon kasi sa programa po ng DOLE at saka ng DOF, SSS, and BIR, meron pong kaukulang second tranche na maibibigay plus the top-up amounting to about 11,000 pesos. But that's for the formal sector. Doon naman po sa recovery plan na sinabit mo ng Department of Labor and Employment, we have proposed wage subsidy which will go directly to the wage or payroll account of the establishments. Kasi alam po natin malaking dagok din po at malaking lugi rin po ang naranasan ng ating mga negosyante. So part of the payroll ay may subsidy po na ibibigay ang pamahalaan. Yun po yung proposal natin. And then secondly, for the informal sector is the Enhanced Emergency Employment Program po natin under TUPAD. And thirdly po, we'd like to connect with the construction opportunities under the Build, Build, Build. And we're promoting local infrastructure para naman po doon sa ating mga low-skilled at saka semi-skilled workers. And also another good news is may mga companies na po na lumalapit sa DOLE asking for help para po mag-source ng kanilang mga tao. And these are in the BPO sector and also in the manufacturing sector.
Yung concentration ba niyan, Nikki, is Metro Manila, NCR, or pinapagawa ng nationwide? Kasi meron ding mga nagsasabi, Cito, the economy of the Philippines is 70% outside Metro Manila. Nakakalimutan nyo kami.
Well, the program of the Department of Labor and Employment is nationwide po. Yung mga job opportunities po na sinabi ko kanina, it's not just in NCR but also in Calabarzon areas po muna. But soon, mag-a-announce pa rin po kami ng iba't ibang job opportunities kasi marami naman, Sir Cito, ng mga kumpanya na humihingi na rin po ng tulong sa Department of Labor and Employment. Just a caution doon po sa mga naghahanap ng trabaho tapos it's online. Be very, you have to discern kung totoo o hindi yung mga information. So what the companies do is to ask for our assistance para lang po at some point nakikita ho natin na talagang legitimate po itong mga kumpanya na lumalapit po sa atin.
Okay, well, Nikki, that's a lot of good news, positive news. At wag po sanang makalimutan yung mga tiga-BARM at saka yung 20 poorest provinces in the Philippines kasi yung po yung mga laging nakakalimutan. But I know with you there and with Secretary Bello, siguro naman hindi rin sila makakalimutan. Thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Definitely, Sir Cito. Maraming salamat po.
Okay, that's Assistant Secretary Nikki Tutay of the DOLE Bureau of Local Employment. And I just want to repeat that before we go. That story of a company whose 80 employees actually was able to get that wage subsidy from DOLE is something I just learned the other day. A family friend and a church member visited me. And may social distancing kami, 5 meters. And he shared how hirap na hirap sila. They tried so hard to apply while all his employees were home. He would come to work every day and isa-isa niyang pinifeed yung mga pangalan ng 80 employees niya to the DOLE. And then he had to go to SSS, he had to go here, he had to go there. But finally, when he was just, really fed up and he said, Lord, it's up to you. I will just lift it all up to you. Strange or, hey, well, as expected, when you're talking to the Lord, 1 week later, DOLE said, you can now download all of those funds for those employees. So, nakakuha sila and it helped. And those are the good news that we all need to share. If you have a good news or a good story, please share with us. And that's it for the day. Thank you for joining us. I'd like to thank our guests who joined us this morning and gave us a lot of information. And please, again, don't forget to pray. Thank the good Lord for all the blessings that you have. Read your Bible and equip yourself. Don't just listen to stuff. Read up and pray. Thank you. I'm Cito Beltran, and that's today's agenda.